Hello there, lovely teachers. So today is Vlogmas day 8. I have to double check myself on the day at this stage. It's day 8, so we've already had a full week of Vlogmas, which is crazy. That's amazing to me. It's been so fun so far. I hope you've enjoyed it. Today is going to be more of a short video, I think. Yesterday's video ended up being longer than I expected. Like when I actually exported it, I was like, whoa! So I hope it wasn't too much chat. It was a lot to talk through the MTV exams and stuff, and obviously the fun little bits and pieces in there. Today is it's quite a boring day. I was going to say more boring. It's not like yesterday was full of amazing events, but today the work I'm doing is not particularly interesting for you guys. Most of the work I'm doing, because I just have to do a lot of writing today, so it's not going to be super fascinating to watch, so this might be a shorter video just to catch you up. But yeah, this morning I had an earlier start than usual, earlier yoga and breakfast and stuff to get ready for a meeting I had with Paul Myatt. By the way, yesterday I did do what I said I would do, which is making me feel better about not always delaying everything I'm supposed to be doing for Paul. So that's good. So I recorded a video which involved Beanie Babies and was super fun and will be featured in our course, which is coming up in January. So it starts January 23rd. I should have a link for it quite soon, and I'll share it if you're on our email list and stuff. I'll share it there. It's a really fun course. It's done live. I'm sort of the guest and it's Paul's thing, like he's done it a few times, and it's about their whole body learning approach, which just basically means starting with movement first as a way of teaching things. So it's about teaching beginners using that approach, and really just, I think, would give you some creative teaching strategies and teaching ideas along the way. Paul has a lot of Orff training and a bit of Kadai and stuff, so that's kind of incorporated as well, a lot of singing and stuff. So yeah, I think it's interesting, and the sample videos I hope are fun. They're meant to be like examples of the homework we're giving people during the course. Yeah, I think it should be fun. We're doing it at 2 different times, so hopefully it'll suit most time zones. And there's like 4 live sessions, I think. No, I might be miscounting. I won't say any more facts in case I get something wrong, but I'll have all the details to share with you, and I'll share a link to it soon. Maybe in one of these Vlogmases it'll be going live and I'll share it with you then. So yeah, what else? Other than that, I started working on this. It's an email series that I'm working on. That's what all the writing is about. So I was just really doing my research this morning for that. Again, not interesting to watch, so I didn't video it. But yeah, and then I'm going to start the writing process for that this afternoon. I'm planning on taking my laptop to we have like a reading chair in the bedroom. It just means giving myself a different view. So occasionally when I'm doing a batch of writing, I'll take the laptop in there when I'm not using a mouse a lot, basically, because the trackpad is really bad for your hand, especially if you've got issues with your hands like I do. But I think for everyone it's not ideal because it kind of forces you to have your wrist down, right? Anyway, if I'm mostly typing, I can get away with using the laptop on the go. So yeah, I'm planning on doing that. And then I've got teaching obviously this afternoon. So what I thought I would do here to keep things interesting, maybe interesting, is talk you through the students I have today and some of the plans. Just because it might give you some lesson inspiration. So the first student I have today is one of the ones who's studying for an MTB exam. So they're going to be working on, like, the lesson will start just with scales and technical exercises, very straightforward traditional lesson really. Starting with that, turning on the metronome or the drum beat to show them the minimum performance tempo for those as kind of a reality check. I do that for them every week, like let them play it once and then turn on the tempo we're actually looking for and say, okay, try and play along with that. And they might just do a little bit. And it's not to say like you're not good enough, it's just like this is where we're headed. So yeah, and then working on the pieces. They're really enjoying their grade pieces, so that should be fun. And yeah, adding on a new section. I split all the pieces up into sections, so they have like 2 sections of each piece so far. We'll be adding on another one or 2 from each piece depending on how each one is going. The goal with all of these is that in early January they'll have their full pieces, that they can get through them, like that they've learned all the sections. They can play them beautifully at that kind of stage of the process, and they may or may not be using much dynamic contrast or anything like that, and it definitely won't be full tempo, but it kind of needs to get to that stage to then work on polishing them for 6 weeks or so, and then it's the exam. So yeah, that's my first student. Then the second one is one of my graduates from Piano Launchpad last year, so that's our group program. Members can find it in the courses section, and it's been really fun because they're my first graduates from that program. So bringing them into regular buddy lessons has been fun to see, like, how much they did pick up from that class, even though they weren't practicing during that year, and how steady their practice habits are, you know, coming out of that. Like, that they didn't learn a lesson, that they don't ever have to practice. They actually do practice and they're pretty consistent. And so yeah, I'll be working with them. I'm working from a new book which is coming out next year, so another tease. I mean, I test out a lot of stuff that's for the membership that isn't out yet in my own teaching. So it's a book called Dazzling Dinos, and they're basically just step and skip only pieces. I'm doing a series of books that are kind of like that. They're meant as a in-between step or an extra supplement for those students who just need more practice at that stage. So for example, if they finish Piano Safari 1 and they need something extra before they do Piano Safari 2 just for the reading aspect, that's where these will fill in. And I'm also using them as they come out of Piano Launchpad, and it's, you know, I'm simultaneously then catching up their technique, making sure that's okay and everything's solid, and improving their reading a little bit more before starting Piano Safari 2, if that's where they're headed. So that's where this one particular student is headed. The others are in different methods. It also gave me, by the way, I'm interrupting myself, but it also gave me an opportunity, having that whole year with them, to really get to know them, so that when we started this year, one of them is with me and 3 are with other teachers here. But with all of them, I could say, they should start in this book, or they shouldn't start a book yet, they should do this first. Like, because I was so clear on which areas they needed more help in, and which they were really strong in, and which they loved, and that kind of thing. So yeah, this student is heading towards Piano Safari 2, but they're currently working on a Disney book and this Dazzling Dinos book, and then also doing some sight reading cards, and then some technique stuff and rote pieces. I think they should be ready to start Piano Safari 2 in January, actually. So yeah, that's been fun to work on, and they're just a delight to teach. And then after that, I have my, I was about to say tweens, that's not true, they're teenagers. In my head, it's like the tween group, because they came together as buddies, like in buddy lessons when they were tweens. Now they're not. Anyway, my teenagers is what I have after that. So I have one teenager for a solo lesson, while another teenager has their solo lesson in the other room, and then a third teenager arrives and they have their buddy lesson together, and then I have the third teenager, as it were, for their solo lesson after that. If that didn't make sense, don't worry about it. But basically, a bunch of teenage girls. So they're really fun. I just have to be careful that it doesn't turn into all talk during that lesson. I think that's the main thing I have to watch out for. Because it's fun for them to chat to each other. I like chatting to them as well. We have to keep it focused. So we'll be doing our rhythm and oral exercises. We'll be doing some improvisation based on 4-chord patterns, playing a game, and doing a little bit of duet reading as well with the ensemble skills book, which again isn't out until next year. Sorry to keep doing that. Yeah, so that's me for the rest of the day. Before I go, I'll catch you up on a bit from yesterday, because you saw a couple of team members waving in the meeting. There was a third team member who joined later in the meeting as well. So yeah, yesterday's team meeting was all about events for next year. and our sort of schedule, our calendar. We already have it laid out in terms of the blog and stuff, but this is kind of the other stuff is what we were talking about yesterday. And it's always so fun to chat with them about this stuff. I could do it for hours, but we have to be focused and keep it to a sensible length. But yeah, we were talking about various events, including MTNA, which is coming up in March, is the soonest like big thing that I'm attending. And so we have some preparation to do for that. But I wanted to mention that here just to say, hey, are you going? And if you haven't already booked your registration, I think maybe it's going up soon. I feel like I saw an email to that effect. We're obviously booked for a long time. If you can go, it'd be amazing. It's in Atlanta this year and it's in March. We're going to have a booth there. So Gigi from the team is going to be running the booth, and we'll have some helpers there as well. One very exciting, slightly secret project with one of the helpers. And then I'll just leave that mystery there. And then I'm basically part of 3 different sessions. So I've got a group session with 3 other teachers about apps, using apps in our studio. So we're going to be running through loads of useful apps. I've got a solo session which is about your studio website and making that more effective. And then I've got a showcase for Vibrant Music, and I'm going to use that to talk about practice. NCKP was the first time I had a showcase session, like a promotional session to share, and I think my instinct was right, which is I've attended a lot of these things myself, and a lot of the showcases are just like, hey, look at my book. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're paying for the showcase, like they're perfectly entitled to do that. But for me, it's more fun to talk about a topic. So this one is going to be all about different practice ideas, both to show how we use our app to enhance practice, vivid practice, and also to show Vibrant Music teaching resources, but hopefully just give you some ideas about practice. So yeah, that's me at MTNA, but I'm mostly just so looking forward to it. I can't wait already. So exciting. And yeah, let me know if you're going. Once again, I hope you enjoy this Vlogmas journey. And tomorrow will be some Saturday adventures, so a mix of teaching and non-teaching stuff going on tomorrow to share with you. So hopefully a bit of sewing in the afternoon, because I have to get going on those gifts as I mentioned. Let me know if there's anything else you want, special features you want, like the MTB exams or the studio tour. Still open to doing different things. And yeah, I hope you're well. Hello again. I know I said I was only hopping on that one time earlier today, but this is me from the future, and I actually have something to share with you that's fun and unexpected today. So yeah, it's a couple of hours later. I finished my writing, written all the emails I had to write, which is great. Got those done sitting in my comfy chair in my bedroom. And now we're back at my regular teaching desk, because while I was there, I was also answering messages from the development team of Vivid Practice, and they have pushed the code to the stores. That just means that the latest app update is winging its way to reality right now. Like, we've been testing it for a while, we're finally happy with this version, and it's now making its way through the Apple and Google testing bots. And as soon as it has done that, it's going to be live. So for people already using it, that's going to be a new update for your students using the app, or for you in your test account. And if you're just curious what Vivid Practice is like, this might be interesting to you too. So I'm going to give you a little preview of the iPad version. Okay, so this is our iPad version of the app. It already was on iPad, it just wasn't optimized for it yet. So you'll see now it works beautifully in landscape mode and in portrait as well. I tend to use my iPad in landscape because I have a keyboard attached to mine. So it's like my mini computer. So yeah, a lot of the same features are obviously there, but there's some new stuff as well. So if you're not familiar, the way Vivid Practice works is teachers are assigning things on the website. So you have your teacher portal where you can keep all the assignments organized and your students organized and everything. And it's really effective and I love using it. And And then the students just get their assignments in the app. And we kept the app really streamlined and pretty simple for them with a few key features. So first of all, we have 4 practice modes. There's blocked, interleave, focused and Pomodoro. For all my students who are new to the app or newer students, younger students especially, I suggest they just use blocked. So blocked is like a checklist. If we tap on that, we'll see what we're currently assigned. This is a test account, so these are just a few things I've put in here. As an example, we've got an exercise, the F major scale. This is just me having fun in the testing process. There's a video here that they can watch. That's from our Scale Sync series. You can also just link to those videos if you're a member, or attach the backing track. And yeah, any notes about each assignment, any attachments. You'll see there's a track down the bottom of this one. Oh yeah, that's a dummy track in this case because it's a test account, but the video is the same one, just to test the video function. And you'll see there's this timer in the corner, so that's logging the practice, and that gets recorded, and you can see in your teacher account how much practice they've done. I'm not super focused on the amount of minutes or anything. I just want to see that my students are logging into the app regularly. That's me. I don't actually mind if they just view their assignments and then close it. That's fine with me, but it's different for every teacher. And then in block mode, basically they check off items on the list, and once they've checked everything off, it'll just go back. So they can practice another session, or they're done for the day. It's very simple. Interleaved helps them interleave their practice, so they can select 2 or more things and they go, let's practice, and it'll give them 4 minutes to work on this one, and then it'll switch to the other one. There's only 2, so it'll just switch back and forth, but if we had more, it would switch randomly between all the ones we've selected. One of the features that's in this version of the app that teachers have been asking for, I'm not going to show you now because we would have to wait 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes to see it. But it used to be that it just visually switched. In the new version, there's a sound. I made it a ding, ding, ding. And on a phone, it will vibrate as well. And that's when it switches. So I'm excited to bring that in because teachers said, I don't want them looking at their phone, like they can't look at their phone the whole time they're practicing, which makes total sense. So now there's this sound, and yeah, it's not the most inspired sound, it's like a dinging sound. I chose it just because it would stand out in comparison to almost every music instrument, unless they're practicing glockenspiel maybe. But with most music instruments, you would kind of notice that over the sound of the instrument, because it's kind of higher pitched and it's a dinging bell sound. And then there's Pomodoro, which is, this is 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, so it's built-in break times. And that works kind of similarly in that you go in and out of the notes. And then there's Focused, which is really like a mini Pomodoro for one assignment. So you just select one assignment when you just want to focus on one thing, and it'll do 3 minutes of practice and then tell you to take a break for a minute. And again, there's now a sound when it switches between practicing and break. So that already existed apart from the sound that I've mentioned there. But the newness is that it's on the iPad, and it looks beautiful on the iPad now. And also it's the messages section. That's the other big change. So if I go to my messages, most of them will just say test or nonsense because this is a test account, okay? But Oliver is the teacher, the fake teacher in this account. And you see the messages from them. So the difference here is now the camera setup. So when you tap on camera, you can take a video or take a picture within the app. It used to be that you could just upload it. It'll ask to access the microphone, obviously, so it can take it. You video it. Stop. Right? It's a beautiful video. Use video, and it will put it there, and then you just send it. So it's a quicker, easier way for students to take videos. We will have an audio only option in the future as well. Potato is the name of a group. We've been testing our new features, and the development team just calls them new group. group ABC, and I call them things like potato, piano party. So let's go to potato. So this is actually a group chat, okay? So this student is in this group, but so are other students. If I go to one of the ones that they've had more tests in, you can see other fake students up here. Fake because it's a test account. So this can be used for a recital room, for actual group students who are in group lessons together, keeping together, or really anything you want. You could make groups based on ages, like all your 9-year-olds are in a group and they're encouraged to share things in there, or for special projects you're doing, like a composing project, and they share photos of their progress along the way, or whatever you want to use it for. Now, you're messaging everyone in that group, and you still have your individual chat with your teacher. And on the teacher view, they can delete messages. So if you do have someone in the group who's saying inappropriate things or whatever, you do have the option to delete the messages. Most of the time we don't want to do that, but just in case the issue ever comes up. And one more thing in the chat is the attachments. There's now an option to go directly to the phone gallery or to go to your files so that it's easier for students to navigate if they're uploading, say, an audio file, a picture, a video that they took outside of the app. So yeah, just wanted to share that fun news with you as an extra little update today. And I will see you tomorrow.